Well, I would say this, right? I think it's been an enjoyable third round of the FA Cup.
Even though Spurs are out.
Yeah, I know. An enjoyable in terms of so many factors, some really good games, some competitive games, some underdog wins.
The stories.
No VAR and actually no controversy.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely sound through that round with no VAR. There you go.
Little point there from Mr. Pardew.
We might talk about that later.
Brighton, they go through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. Pards, Danny Welbeck to put Sting into Manchester United. Great player.
Yeah, it's funny how those things sort of turn up, isn't it? You know, they're having a difficult time, Man United, difficult season. Obviously, the manager's gone. Caretaker manager today in Fletch, who's obviously been at the club many, many years, all through the glory years, etc., etc. And then the old boy that they released many, many moons ago smashes it in the top corner and they're out the cup.
Yeah.
And I thought that was an interesting point by Adrian, you know, saying about how many games they're going to have this year. 40 games, two games in the cup and 38 in the league. Wow. I mean, that's...
Got your money back season ticket, didn't you?
Dear, you know, that's...
They are now playing for a European place.
And just a footnote on the game before, right? I just want to just say this about Arsenal, right? Because if you ever want a lesson, going away from home into what is like a very, very difficult place to go anyway, Portsmouth, and have the right mentality, forget about how good they are technically, etc., etc. That Arsenal team turned up, I thought, with the perfect mentality to win that game. They went 1-0 down, and they didn't, you know, it wasn't like they just come out and went, yeah, we'll show you. And worked as hard as Portsmouth, and obviously the technical quality come through in the end.
Absolutely. So there's loads to digest, and the phone lines are now open on 03717 223344. And as I look on our screen, Pards, it is filling up already. Let's go straight to the phone lines. Mabs joins us. He's a Man United fan. Hello, Mabs.
Hello, mate.
Out of the FA Cup at the first hurdle, how are you feeling?
All I'm going to say is if Ruben Amorim was in charge today, we were winning that match. Even Brighton's own manager said, the last time we faced Ruben Amorim is a world-class manager. We sacked a manager who won in 11 months at Anfield, at Etihad and Emirates. Yeah, he took us to the Europa League final, just the way Klopp took Liverpool in Europa League final in his first season. Klopp got fourth in his last day of the second season. We should have given Ruben until the end of the season. It just made no sense. This sacking made no sense. Absolutely no sense.
You were near the top four as well. Like, you were a couple of points off.
We should have given him till end of the season. This sacking just made no sense, honestly.
Mabs,
it absolutely made no sense.
It does in terms of what he said.
Sorry?
In terms of what he said last weekend, because, of course, we was on air after that Leeds game, and, you know, when he talked about, I came here, I'm the manager.
It doesn't matter because... He probably wanted a player, Semenyo or whatever it is, and they came out now all of a sudden said, we can't get that player and we're not going to give you no funding for January. So obviously I can understand the frustration. I get where he's coming from. If you want United to compete at the top level, you want them to win. Omar Baraka said he wants United to win Premier League by 2028, I think. You need to spend, my friend, if you want to win the league by then. And you want to get top four, you want to push for it, you need another player, a player or two for January. And they're saying to him they got no funding. So I can understand Ruben's frustration. And obviously you can't be telling a manager or coach how to be playing. Wilcock said himself, I saw a video of him saying himself, I can't help but tell managers how to coach. He said that himself.
Well, there's nothing to suggest that he did tell him how to play. But what there was definitely a falling out over something. These ex-players,
these Nicky Barts and Paul Scholes coming out and disrespecting the manager, saying this guy doesn't understand United. Mate, the last two games, what have you seen? Darren Fletcher's been in charge. Johnny Evans has been the assistant. What have you seen the United way? You need to let that go, give a manager a time, let him put his philosophy in, and let United come back that way.
It's a great point, to be fair. You know, this whole idea of Manchester United of old and certain exposure, we saw today, you know, they scanned round over to Fergie and he sat with Nicky Butt. Is there any way for Manchester United to evolve and have the new version of Manchester United, as long as there's always going to be this depth of nostalgia and it's just sort of stunted by, oh, that's not the Manchester United way, or this isn't, etc.?
Well, first and foremost, you've got to have a playing staff that warrants wearing that jersey. And, when I look at that Manchester United team, particularly at the back, there's no foundation for me to build on, in terms of a back line where you can be solid. If I even look at Spurs back four, I think Spurs back four better than Man United's any defence they could put out, whoever's fit. I just think that is a problem which they didn't address last summer. The top of the pitch, they addressed a little bit. Obviously, Cunha, who I thought was actually a bit disappointing today, and Mbumba, who's away, he'll come back. So, at the top of the pitch, and Sesko, I thought was okay today. I thought he did some nice things. He took a couple of early strikes. There's still so much to do behind the front three, though. The midfield, the back four, the goal is only just finding his feet. There's a lot of problems for whoever the manager is, whether it's, Solskjaer, Fletch, Amorim, if he'd have stayed. There's a lot of problems in that squad in terms of balance and cohesion and fight. I mean, the one thing whenever you played against Man United, you knew they were great, Maj, but they always had the fight in them, and it was always difficult to try and kind of outfight them. And that was the only way you was going to win, because you couldn't technically beat them. But them days are long gone. I mean, and Brighton were fairly comfortable, I thought.
Yeah, they did look very comfortable indeed. And it is, Groundhog Day here on talkSPORT as Manchester United lose at Old Trafford to Brighton for the third time in the last 5 meetings between the two teams at Old Trafford.
We could actually do a seminar, me and you, about Man United and Spurs, couldn't we? We could actually. I mean, we know almost as much as anybody else.
A TED talk.
A TED talk.
A Teddy talk in our team.
10 grand, please.
Give us a call 03717 222 Let's waste no time. Let's go straight to Andy. He's a Man United fan. Good evening, Andy.
Evening, boys. How are we?
Listen, I'm probably as good as you, as my team got dumped out of the cup yesterday as well. Season looks over for Spurs, and it does Man United as well, mate.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous now. It's like myself. I grew up in the Fergie era, so obviously got Alan hit on the head. When you used to go to Old Trafford, used to be a fortress. Teams used to be scared. Now they can waltz in, do what they want. There's not that fear factor is long gone. It's like I'm trying to tell my kids now, this isn't the United that I knew to grow up and love. It's a shambles from, there's no go on some of the players. I feel sorry for Darren Fletcher. He's been thrown in.
Yeah.
And, he's got to try and manage with what was left from Amorim. I feel sorry for Amorim because he just got, he spoke out, which I think he was right to do because he's right in what he's saying. Jim Ratcliffe has promised all this stuff when he come in. Nothing's happened. Jason Wilcox has come in. I think he's had an influence on Amorim going, as well as Omar Barada, because they were there at Burnley. How close were they to the touchline? Were they shouting stuff down to Darren Fletcher, trying to tell him what to do? There's no structure to the club. It's just a hot mess. And as a United fan, it's getting really frustrating. I'd love to see the Glazers and Ineos go and just get bought out by a Saudi club. I know that's controversial as it is, but something needs to change.
But what is that change part? This is the big thing, and it's you know what?
I think the shame for Man United fans is the fact that the Glazers, who all fans fell out with them.
The Glazers.
I mean, they've hiked the club up with so much debt and then taken so much dividend out of it. It's incredible, right? The financial upsurge that family has had out of that football club. And then Ineos have come in, and everyone assumed that we got a change of ownership-ish, because obviously Jim doesn't own it all, but he owns a part of it and he has control of the football. And actually that part of it has fallen down, and that's where I genuinely feel sorry for Man United fans. And, Dan Ashworth come in. They headhunted him. He was going to be the man who was going to put a plan together for this football club to take it forward, which he did at England and Newcastle to a degree, not completely at Newcastle, but he was involved in a lot of decisions making there. And then he was cut away.
Out of nowhere.
And went around when Amorim come in. So, you can put 2 and 2 together there. But, what I would suggest is that I know in terms of what their next decision, all Man United fans are now waiting. What is the next decision? Who's the next manager? Is it going to be Solskjaer, who we paid up and who left the football club, and we paid him off to leave because he was so opposed to the needs of the football
deemed
club,
not good enough.
is now, the man to come back and carry the flag? Or is it going to be Michael Carrick, who's, in my opinion, I think would be a decent choice? But what is going to be the brief? Is the brief to the end of the year? Because, we're talking about Manchester United. I remember Teddy Sheringham saying to me, what I can't understand, when I was at Manchester United, it was the biggest club in the world. We had the best manager in the world. And ever since that time, when have we really gone out and got the main man who's in doing the job right now? It was all the managers that have come in have all sort of like not failed, but on the different path to where they not on the real surge.
Well, the last signing that
Amorim
was Van Persie, and that was during Fergie's time.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked about Harry Kane, didn't we? And when Rice come up, that window year when they were.
But again, it's as simple as this: the big clubs now are considered. And Declan Rice, when he went to Arsenal, was the best midfielder in the Premier League. Went to Arsenal. Semenyo's one of the best wingers in the Premier League right now. He got Man City. Isak was the best striker in the Premier League. Went to Liverpool. Man United are not in that bracket anymore. The players the abroad players, yes, like Seshko, etc. They look at Manchester United, but those that are in the Premier League and have gone to Old Trafford and seen, so what? It's not that. Back when Fergie used to call someone. So, unless it's Paul Gascoigne, of course. When Fergie,
or Alan Shearer,
or Alan
they
Shearer,
have been turned down in the past,
but not often. And when he did get turned down, he took it very personally and was offended. But you look at this now. If you are a top player in the Premier League, you're not going to Manchester United. So their pool has decreased. Some of the signings in recent years have gone so wrong, and that going from the Ten Hag who brought in the Antonys and the Martinez, etc., to now. The identity, and they're left with big wages and debt, and the fallout with Ronaldo, which is one of their legends. It's just been a mess, just a real big mess.
And to add to that, you had Rashford and McTominay who have gone away and been fairly well. I wouldn't say Rashford's been a huge success, but he's been quite successful.
Well, they want him.
McTominay has been probably was voted the best player in Italy in terms of a midfield player. So it is a real
even Højlund.
Even Højlund keeps scoring goals, and they got a big game tonight. They play Inter Milan.
Inter Milan, yeah.
So it's a big game we'll be watching.
And of course, Marcus Rashford is Real Madrid
tonight. Yeah.
So
that's weird.
The ex-Man United boys playing in some big games.